Okay, I need to start this morning by unburdening myself of something that I have been carrying with me for far too long. All right, here goes. I am a television junkie. I actually feel better having said it out loud. Thanks for letting me share this deep and personal truth about myself. Just seems like the right time. I've been denying myself until recently. While on vacation with my family, I took part in a competition on our cruise. It was a Name That Tune television theme song competition. I didn't just win. I lapped the field. I believe the key moment when I realized I had an issue is when I was the only person in the room, perhaps on the ship, who could correctly identify the theme song to Airwolf. If I was in better voice, I might hum it for you right now. Now, despite this virtual obsession I have had with television, again, I'm working on it. I have had a relative aversion to one of the more recent television phenomena, the reality show. Yeah. I'm not sure if it is simply an appreciation for the art of script writing, but I just really have not been too excited about the reality show as a genre. Having said that, I have found myself intrigued by aspects of the television show Undercover Boss. Specifically, I am drawn to the idea that people who work for a company can be completely oblivious to the head of the company being in their midst. Is it a matter of context? Is it because they never really knew what the person looks like and in the first place, or somehow the person's appearance had been altered? Or is it something else? Couldn't help but think about this show when I was reading our gospel passage for this morning. Remember, I am an admitted television junkie, so that happens. This story of the walk to Emmaus is a fertile post-resurrection piece of the gospel narrative as two of Jesus' disciples come to see him in the sharing of a meal, the breaking of the bread, quite the appropriate passage for a communion Sunday like this. But what is it that is happening in the bulk of the story that takes place before the moment of realization? How do these two, who have been with Jesus throughout his ministry, not recognize their friend and teacher as they travel with him along the road? Is it a matter of context? Is it because somehow Jesus' appearance had been altered, or is it something else? This morning, what I would like to focus on for just a few minutes is that something else. For I believe that we as people, despite being created as relational beings, tend to go through much of our lives with our heads down, metaphorically and at times literally, seeking to just get through or get by. And we far too often miss what is happening around us. We far too often fail to see who is right there in front of us. And as it is with so much in our lives, I believe that fear has something to do with it. A number of years ago, during the summer after I graduated from seminary and I was seeking my first call, I attended the United Church of Christ General Synod in Grand Rapids, Michigan. For a newly minted minister in the United Church of Christ, Synod is like the ultimate job fair, as you have a chance to interact with the conference staff from around the country. Being the task-oriented person that I can tend to be, I attended Synod that year with the sole purpose of meeting and impressing the people I needed to meet and impress. For me, the fear was coming to the end of my summer as I completed my ordination process without a job or a place to live. During the week, I attended one of the presentations by renowned theologian Barbara Brown Taylor. There were a couple of people in my to-meet list also at that gathering. And so, as with all of my activities for that particular synod, I attended with a purpose. Head down, straight ahead. I was not going to fail in my mission. What I learned a year or so later was that also in attendance at this event was a young clergywoman from the Minnesota Conference. I was so singularly focused that I missed my opportunity to meet the Reverend Elena Larson that day, or should I say, Elena Pettis Larson. My friends, we do not know what or who we are missing if we do not lift up our heads and open our eyes. All of us, I imagine, are familiar with the story of Jesus' parable about the king that is found in Matthew 25. Perhaps not by chapter reference alone, but as soon as I share the quote, "What you did for the least of these, you did for me." I'm guessing you know of what I am speaking. It's a wonderful moment in the broader narrative of Jesus when he is about to go down the difficult path of Holy Week. It reminds us that Christ is not someone or some idea that floats out there somewhere, but is a part of each of us. Our faith lives are not about me and Christ. They're about me and Christ. It's an affirmation, I believe, of an ideal present throughout the Bible, that each of us carries within us the divine spark and reflects the image of God. So it would follow then that as we wander through our lives with our heads down, be it out of the fear of failure that leads us to the focused pursuit of a goal, or out of the fear of engagement with someone who is different, or out of a fear of being noticed, what we are missing is not simply the opportunity to see and meet and engage with other people. We are missing the opportunity to encounter Christ present in each one whom we meet. We are missing the opportunity to encounter Christ in our family members with whom we share our lives. We are missing the opportunity to encounter Christ in our coworkers who share our days. We are missing the opportunity to encounter Christ in the children we see playing on the playground. We are missing the opportunity to encounter Christ in the person in need who is reaching out for help. We are missing the opportunity to encounter Christ in the person who is different or difficult. We may even be missing the opportunity to encounter Christ in the mirror each morning when we fail to really see ourselves. You know, when I think about it, it probably should not surprise me how easily the selected CEOs slip past the notice of their employees on Undercover Boss. I mean, considering how well Christ does escaping our notice virtually every hour of every day, maybe they should make a show about that. But borrowing slightly from our friend Rabbi Josh, who we heard from last Sunday, I want us to pause and challenge the status quo. For as the rabbi reminded us, we are called to have courage and not be ruled by our fears. We are invited by God to be fully ourselves and to see and affirm the fullness of each other child of God we encounter with open eyes and open hearts. I invite each of us today, this week, from now on, to set aside the fears that serve to turn our heads down and our eyes to the ground, and to have the courage to see who it is that is with you on this journey of life. And look closely, my friends, for in every instance, whether you realized it or not, you are staring into the face of Christ. Amen.